Yeah, mute that one. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's up, guys?
What's up? How are you?
Hey.
Good. How are you guys?
Sorry about we're time confusion. I told Paul 9:30.
Oh, that's okay.
But you're on Central Time too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're good. Look at the double view of Paul here.
Whoa.
Your camera.
You never have too much of a good thing, right?
Well, this was a tester because one is my phone and one is my very expensive laptop. And look how crap my laptop picture is compared to my phone.
It
Always.
is.
Except my phone makes me look fat.
Oops. Oh shit. All right, we're gonna have. I didn't mean to turn your video off. There we go. Much better. Okay, so what's up? What's up with you? What have you been doing?
Man, just working a soulless job.
Oh, it sounds fun.
Yeah.
Paul wouldn't know anything about that.
No, I gave up work.
I can make a
Paul
bet that
Paul may learn something about that fairly soon, though. We don't know. Early December, he might know something about working a soulless job.
I left the job, and I was going to have a month off, and that month turned into 5 months. But
some terrible time.
It ends soon.
To leave your job.
Soon. Yeah.
I'm going to leave my job. Oh, pandemic. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. My last job my job that I really loved was the day before St. Patrick's Day.
So that was the last day anybody had a life, I believe.
Right.
That's my birthday, and so that was the last day I went out to a bar, and even then it was like impending doom. Like, the bars had already been told they were shutting down.
Yeah, we were working that week already. Like, I don't feel comfortable being here, but we have to stay open these last couple days. So.
Yeah. And that was when the CDC was like, no, don't wear a mask. That doesn't work. Turns out it does.
Remember that was a thing?
Yeah. But is Gridlife keeping you sane or?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not really involved too much day to day at this point, but we're still successfully putting on decreased attended events.
Yeah.
So we
wait.
Yep.
Wait. We're professionals. We've got to do this. Like, is it Joe Rogan? Hi.
Similar to
welcome.
That. We're soft.
But
welcome.
So what Paul was trying to do here was keep us on track and introduce our guest, Micheal Cohn, of Choptop fame, of Gridlife fame, and all-around good dude. So without further ado, Micheal Cohn.
Welcome, Mike.
The fact that we got to do Midwest Festival or Midwest Motorsports Festival this year kept us alive. So,
yeah.
What is Gridlife? There are people who are going to watch this who won't know what it is.
So Gridlife, this is our 7th season. It is a music and motorsports festival. So we rent out a racetrack, car racing all day. There's HPDE, time attack. We developed our own wheel-to-wheel series, thanks to Adam Jabay.
Lovely.
And then that's all day. And then at night we have a full stage of music. So camping on site.
It moves around too. It's not just any rate. It can be. It's a number of places, right?
Yes. Our home is Gingerman in West Michigan.
Yeah.
We just added New Orleans this year at NOLA Motorsports Park. And then this was our 2nd year at Alpine Horizon, which is Pikes Peak International.
Oh, nice.
And so the NCM one did not happen, correct?
No, that was our first cancellation of the year.
Yeah, because I was looking forward to it, and then I definitely remember not going to it. So, yeah. But it's hopefully in the works again.
It is on schedule for next year.
Okay, because that's a great. I mean, that track is great.
Yeah,
and it's very close to my house. Well, not very close. Close enough to go drive there and party for a weekend.
yeah.
But you said you've managed to put on a smaller event.
Yeah, we've been depending on the facility. Sometimes we limit it ourselves. Sometimes they put a cap on us. But we made it work. I think Midwest Festival we had, I think 2,000 people, and it seemed really empty. But
yeah,
it happened. We have
because what's your norm? What's like an average attendance for something like that?
8 to 10,000 at Midwest.
Yeah, and so 2 looks like 4 people showed up. Yeah,
Pennies in a barrel, but
yeah. But at least the drivers. I mean, you got to have drivers there. The drivers got to do some social media stuff probably, and like.
Yeah, and we're keeping partnerships happy because of it, so we're still putting them out. We still get to do our live stream, which has been basically what's been carrying us. Been getting a lot of new people because of that. Just, hey, I watched the race on live stream, and now I want to do it.
Yeah. Do you guys still? So I think it was Gridlife that did Honda Fit spec racing. Was that
Sunday Cup. Well,
is that still a thing?
It started out as spec fit, and then we had some people bringing. We wanted to expand it, so Toyota Yaris, Chevy Aveo, Ford Fiesta. So we turned it into Cup, which is basically the Sunday Cup from Gran Turismo, but
okay. Sorry, yeah. So I didn't know it had evolved into something else. I remember it's been a handful of years ago now, I guess, but I remember seeing like the little picture of spec fit, and I was like, man, because at the time you could buy like a nice fit for $5,000, and now they're even cheaper. Now you can buy one for $2,500. But yeah, I'd love for the Dang Bros to get involved in a little bit of shitty hatchback racing.
Yeah, we can always talk later.
I don't really have I have a shitty hatchback, but it's too slow. And
what have you got?
And it's got too big of a high voltage battery in it. So it's very slow.
That's very slow.
But it's on the Yaris platform. What about the Toyota Yaris? Is that
Yeah, so that's involved in Sunday Cup.
Okay. Those are all fun cars. I mean, that's if you ask dudes like James May, like those are the most fun cars in the world because you can beat the brakes off of them, and they're not going to kill you.
Drive it home, no worries.
Yeah, and they're not going to just like swap ends and put you into the wall.
Right.
Typically, I mean, you can't do that. But.
Challenge accepted.
Our Cavalier tried to kill us a few times. We were able to avoid it.
Yeah. Well, I saw on the website you do online racing as well with iRacer and Forza.
Yes, we've been pretty good with Forza past 2 seasons. It actually started with we just wanted to do an after party for SEMA. So we got a bunch of rigs together, rented a place out, and we did basically a shortened version of our on track digitally. So we had awesome. Time attack sessions. We had a little break in the middle. We were going to have some music artists perform. But that didn't pan out. But
were you guys out at SEMA this year?
What's that?
Were you guys out at SEMA this year?
No, SEMA didn't happen this year.
Well, yeah, you're correct. I guess I've already written 2020 off. I meant 2019. Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We did have game night there.
Yeah. Awesome. Next time I get out there, if we're both out there next year, we need to link up because
for sure. Yeah.
It's a good time. That's the first time I've been to Vegas. Obviously, the first time I've been to SEMA, and it was it's an experience. Like that's the biggest. Words can't even describe. Somebody's like, that's the biggest car show in the world. You'd be like, whatever. And then you get out there and you're like, wow, like this is. Yeah. You'd need a month to see everything there.
You
Yeah,
complained that your feet were hurting.
Yeah, last
Oh
year.
yeah, I wish I would have like stuck my Fitbit on because I swear to God I walked 100 miles.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I got there for load-in day last year, and we were there all week. So I was at the show every day. I still didn't see everything.
No, and like, but then you kind of get sucked into something there, and you're like, wow, I just want to hang out right here, and then your day's gone, and you've had a couple Bud Lights and everything.
You know so many people that are there, drivers, participants, whatever.
Right. So basically, how we know Mike is through the Choptop stuff, and so any dude that shows up in a AMG S55 with no roof on it, I mean, I think we're gonna be best buds. That's kind of one of my personal favorite cars. I love that era of AMG. Because they weren't doing like full on bespoke stuff at the time. They were just kind of putting the biggest engine in a car, putting a supercharger on it, and boom, there you go.
Yeah, and then like a little wood grain segment on the wheel for the AMGs, and that's it.
Yeah, then put the nicest leather in it, put the biggest engine in it.
Yeah.
Boom. Put some fins on the differential. That's an AMG
still a
car.
cassette player.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You sawed the roof off of it anyway. When Grant told me that, I was like, "What?"
But if TTRs find out one thing, you cut the roof off. The next thing you do is make sure radio works.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's yeah.
And so you guys, I mean, that thing has. Imagine the electronics in a early 2000s Mercedes car. Like you guys have like vacuum formed plastic over the dash.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can call it that.
I'm probably making it sound a lot nicer than it is.
It's a long night with a lot of beers and a heat gun.
Okay, so I was wondering how you did it, and maybe it's not vacuum formed. Maybe it just fell onto the dash.
Yeah, it just melted.
Yeah.
Basically.
But that's a necessity in that car. I mean, that's all that car is electronics and control modules and and you guys have really obviously driven it in the rain, right?
Oh yeah. And obviously just over the years we found little improvements that help, and that's one of the things that we found a year or two ago, and now every car has to have that we do.
Yeah. Because you don't want rainwater like going down the vents, like the defrost vent in a Mercedes. Like you just don't want that. But tell us the story on that thing. I mean, I remember you telling me a little bit about it, like where you found it, like how you came into that car.
Yeah, not much to it. It's our third chop. Found just a really good deal on it. I think we picked it up for $2,000 because there was just enough wrong with it that it's usually not working. So the biggest thing was that the active body control module was gone.
Yeah.
So the car would slowly lower on the automatic suspension.
Yeah.
And
you guys ended up doing coilovers?
No, we just we took out the active and put in the base model static.
Okay. So, but just like a spring setup. Yeah. And you just let it say like, does it just throw warning signs up and stuff?
Occasionally we'll look at a warning sign, but sometimes it doesn't come on. So who knows?
Maybe it forgot. It forgot it had that.
No, that just means that's broken as well.
So, like real talk, a friend of mine that I used to work with at Mercedes, he's like still a salesman at our local Mercedes dealer. He had one of those, the supercharged. Is yours the supercharged?
Ours is the model year before.
Okay, right before they supercharge them. So his is a supercharged version. It got stolen from the gas station right next to the Mercedes lot because he left it running at the gas pump and somebody drove off with it, as you do. But like a couple months later, they found it and they brought it back to him, but it had already been junked, titles junked, blah, blah. So he's trying to sell that thing right now. And it would be possible to get a title for it. and it's kind of rough. Like I think it's had crack smoked in it. And they drove it until the power steering pump, which is also the ABC pump,
Yep.
in those cars, the shaft broke off, and they just drove it until basically drove it into the ground.
This close to that happening on ours.
Yeah, and from what I remember, that happens in those. Like the ABC pump explodes.
Oh, I thought you meant the smoking crack bit. You said yours was that close.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those have probably had a little crack smoked in them by now.
I mean, it wouldn't be an AMG otherwise.
Right. Especially, you get an AMG that's worth a few grand. The right people are going to buy that thing and smoke some crack in it.
Right.
But like I saw yours had some rust. Like, I mean, the big killer of those is rust.
Yeah.
Like, those are excellent cars, but most of them are rotten away. I mean,
yeah, and the people who typically bought them new are, they want the AMG, but they're not too bothered with washing it all the time.
No, it'll go through a car wash.
Yeah.
And so those cars, I worked for a body shop when about 3 or 4 years after those cars came out, and we were doing warranty rust repair on those cars that were 4 or 5 years old. And so that's been a just constant battle of those cars. And so the next generation, most of those cars were aluminum, or most parts on them, body parts. And that helped a little bit. You still get some corrosion, but you don't get just like full on panel rot, which you see a lot of them around here. And I can't imagine they're any better, in Chicago, that are just like missing. They're just like sections of the door.
I rarely see those around here.
Yeah, so up there, most of them have went to the junkyard, probably.
Yeah.
We still, actually, a friend of mine that still works or just retired from Mercedes has 2 of the nicest of that body style left S-classes. Got an S600 and has an S500.
Mm-hmm.
And they're incredible. But he also he works there, and he spent 10 grand at the dealer last year. So that was his cost. But yeah, so what made you? So you basically just lucked into that car, and we're like, "This will work. Let's chop the roof off this."
Kind of, yes. So our first chop was just a Ford Freestar van because we had easy access to it. It was cheap. Once we were on the road, we all instantly started brainstorming. We got to have a better car. So we're like, big idea. What do we want? So we ended up with the limo next. And that was kind of a dream chop. Is that a thing?
Is that the limo that's still in circulation or no? Different?
Yeah. What's the team that rented it from us last year bought it.
And is that the limo that showed up to the Jamboree?
No, it was the other one.
Okay, so there's multiple. Yeah. Just so everybody's clear, multiple limos in the Choptop.
I did include a picture to that guy for you.
Awesome.
And then, so once we had the limo, we're like, how do we outdo the limo? Because that's kind of TTR's thing, is how do we outdo ourselves every year?
Yeah.
And then we usually blow the wad the second or third year, and then we're like, well, now what do we do? Now what do we do? So
yeah, I mean, so
yeah,
where do you go from Mercedes? Where do you go from like hand-built engine Mercedes?
Don't know. We're gonna run it a couple of years because.
Oh yeah, you got to get your money's worth out of that.
Exactly. So I've got a list of ideas, so we'll see what we can knock off that list.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, so I'm hoping to get the Monte Carlo to one of them. I don't know whether I don't know which one's sparking more joy for me right now, like as far as Maine or Colorado.
Yeah,
I've been to Maine a few times, and I've never been to Colorado, so that might be it for me.
Colorado's definitely worth the trip. but
Yeah.
I've never been to Maine, so I think that might be my goal.
And you're probably slightly closer to Maine. You're definitely closer to Maine than we are.
Yeah.
Also, Colorado's kind of a straight shot.
Yeah, it's a real boring drive.
Yeah. But I guess I'll have to just look at the dates again and see. I don't know if everything falls into place, and I can split some bills with people. I do both.
I would love to do both, so maybe we can chat about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. We can chat about that off camera, I guess. But
I want to do neither of them.
So we had this this British dude down here named Paul talked into going to Key West in the Monte Carlo, and obviously the rest of that story. But we had plane tickets back. Like, we had a dude that was going to drive the car home, a team that was going to drive the car home. And man, I feel like that would have been the most fun week of all time.
Oh yeah.
And it got shit on.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get to party in Key West, and it'll be the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm upset because I think we we lost. So Jason had like that plan for that mansion as for the finale, and I think the last time I talked to him, they weren't. That relationship kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
So he's gonna probably have to figure out something else for the finale. Because the minute he started talking about that mansion, I was like, wow, this is gonna be a time. Like, we're gonna have a good time.
We're pretty resourceful people. I think we can.
Oh yeah, I have faith.
Find another lead on that.
Yeah, and like, it's Key West. There's more than one mansion on Airbnb, I'm sure.
Right. There's probably like 3.
Yeah, because I mean, Key West is not very big. I don't know if you've ever been to like Charleston. There's a Folly Beach in Charleston. It's very fancy and nice, but it's also, you go 2 blocks off the beach and it's kind of a shithole. I mean, but everything's still $1 million.
Right.
To live 4 blocks off the beach, you're going to pay $750,000 to live in a trailer.
After this pandemic, there's going to be people wanting events like Choptop.
Oh yeah,
just to come through.
Exactly. I think the desire for stuff like this is going to be.
Look how many new teams we had just for Summer Chop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess that one was different, which that was my first experience with the Choptop, but that was like the first camping one too, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of more what I'm used to as far as like doing stuff in crappy cars, is we always just go do stuff in crappy cars and then camp or sleep in the car, and it's hard to sleep in a car with no roof on it. So
a little bit, yeah.
I bet we could give it a shot.
Yeah, that's why I always pack a hammock, man. Takes up like that much space.
I mean, Paul always brings a hammock, but it's a banana hammock.
Bring my banana hammock.
Yeah.
I've got it on right now.
Luckily, this is an above the waist video, Paul.
Oh, yeah. So what's your car history? Shut up, Grant. I'm talking.
Okay, you steer it.
I'm not steering nothing. But I want to know, what car do you drive now?
The current car's a 08 Honda Fit. It's
do you race it?
I don't. The goal was to compete in Sunday Cup with it.
Yeah. Someday.
And then in storage, I've got an 01 S2000 and Honda Civic SI hatch.
Okay. What year is the hatch?
86.
Okay. Yeah. That man. So, what's your plans with those? Are they running or?
The S is running just in storage. That's mainly going to stay stock. Maybe just some springs.
Yeah.
And a wing.
Yeah.
Just for having fun.
Yeah. So is you Japanese cars, is that your preference? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All the cars I've owned have been Hondas. I've had one Toyota.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the S2Ks are like, I mean, you keep one of those nice, that's going to be a collector car. If even kind of is now, but like they're not getting any cheaper.
The market's real hot right now, and they're anywhere from say 14 to 25 grand.
Yeah.
And then mine's sitting in storage with 50,000 miles on it.
Yeah. Probably pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a little retirement fund there.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I'm all I'm thinking about is like how I'd go crash that thing into a wall on a racetrack somewhere.
It happens to a lot of them.
Oh yeah, that's kind of why, that's a lot of the reason why the value is where they're at. Is because they were at a purchasable or affordable level and a very capable platform, and then they got cranked into some walls.
Yep.
They also get modified badly quite a lot.
Yeah.
They're getting cut up real bad lately.
Yeah. So when I worked at CarMax, one came in, and it was like $3,000 or $4,000, but it needed a differential, and it looked like it had been spray painted, and then like sunburn. But looking back on it, that's when they weren't like going crazy. That's when they were kind of a handful of years old.
Yeah.
But that would have been a great car to buy and put a diff in and just beat the brakes off of it.
Yeah, my brother had one when I was younger, and he let me drive it once, and I was like, that's it. That's a dream car for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I'll never be able to own one. It's an S2000.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came upon a great deal, and I bought it. So now I got a dream car, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you ever driven a Miata?
Oh, have I?
Yeah, I mean, you haven't lived until you've driven a Miata, so.
Have you ice raced a Miata?
I haven't, but I would.
Oh, buddy, that's where the fun is.
Okay, sign me up. Let's go.
This must be an American thing, because I'm like, what are you
I've
talking
driven
about?
a lifted Miata on 27s in the snow.
I'll add a picture of me ice racing Miata to that.
Yeah. Include that. Well, because I'll put that right here somewhere.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
In Stevens Point. So anywhere north of basically Madison, people are ice racing. The second there's 14 inches of ice.
We're talking spiked tires, roll cages.
Yeah. Well, so they actually class it out. You can show up on all seasons, snow tires, or studded tires. There's classes for each.
Oh, it's serious racing, then. Is
it straight line or
on ice?
Is it drag racing or like
autocross?
Okay.
So they kind of plow a track into the snow on the ice.
Yeah.
And then if there's no snow, they put cones out. And then it's just fastest time.
I think I've seen that on maybe Dirt Every Day or like one of the Motor Trend shows.
Yeah.
They brought, I can't remember even what it was, but it looked fun. I mean,
yeah. And then so the guys that I used to ice race that Miata with, kind of were on the leading edge of studding tires, not in the streetable sense of studding, but they started exploring how they could improve that.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up with like 220 sharpened bolts per tire.
So if they put a tube in them or what?
What?
They put a tube in it?
No. It's drill a hole, washer on each end with sealant around it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
God, how heavy are those tires?
So heavy. But it feels like driving, I'd say like 300 treadwear tires on okay asphalt.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know but like anytime, like snow adds a couple hundred horsepower for sure.
Right.
When ice, especially, like, ice is like 500 horsepower.
You can do skids.
Yeah.
Crazy
Anything
skids.
can do skids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Brittany's Prius could do skids in the ice.
I don't think your Prius could do skids in the ice.
Hey, let's find out.
Oh, we will. $1,000 Prius will do skids in the ice. Promise.
We'll also do jumps.
Gridlife has done ice racing days in the past, and I think we're going to do one in this winter. So stay tuned.
The Crafter needs to ice race.
Sure does.
I got a few different sets of wheels and tires for that thing too, so we can drive up there, party, drive home. So are they all? I guess you have to have. It's got to be cold enough where you do it. It's all natural, right? Like on a lake or what?
Yeah. So the lake, it's Lake Dubay up in Stevens Point. It's a dammed lake, so it freezes over completely.
Okay.
And then eventually they let the water out through the dam, so then the ice just parks itself on the bottom, so you can't even like fall through.
Yeah, that's Paul. Is any of this striking your fancy?
Yeah. You've taken away the bit where I'm going, what about when you fall in a frozen lake?
No, it's so cold.
Trapped and it's cold and you're in a piece of crap car. You've taken that away.
Nah. Heat's on.
I'm interested.
Okay.
Sign me up.
You're not going to fall in. It's going to be like 0 degrees.
Yeah.
Impossible to fall in.
Well, I heard that when you drown, you warm up. So.
And also, right after you drown, you don't know any better. So it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So what's next for the Choppy team? Just gonna waiting to see what the future holds.
Yeah.
What Maine holds.
I'm gonna try and convince some of the other guys that missed out on Summer Chop and our little jamboree to get back in and trying to convince them to go to hopefully Maine, because I don't think any of us have ever been to Maine.
Yeah, so we need to stay in contact over that, because as much as I'd love to get the Monte Carlo out, it's not a necessity. I mean, if you guys are looking for a fourth dude that can split gas and hotel or camping or whatever.
Yeah. Historically, my schedule's been super easy to do, but one of our guys is a nurse, so he has to like submit his schedule way in advance. So
yeah,
it'd be on our team.
And these are, I can't remember. I mean, I know Jason told me, but I'm not great with dates. But they're all like both of these are summer.
Correct.
Yeah. So
because the idea is to do the camping thing and stay outdoors. Just in case things are still really bad.
Yeah. So with summer, I can pretty much, I'm pretty free. And we're gonna drag Paul to one of these because I already talked him into going to Key West. And you've seen how Paul parties. Like he shows up in a suit with a British police officer hat on.
Hey, if you survive Jamboree, you can survive a Summer Chop.
It's not that. It's just it's such a long way away in a car with no roof. I don't even like convertibles.
But you're wearing a helmet.
I just don't think you're doing it right.
And there's a party at the end.
You got
Can't I? I could fly there and just go to the party.
You won't be
Or-
invited. You won't be invited.
I could drive my normal car with a roof.
Your normal
doesn't
car
sound
sucks too. It's gonna
All
break
my
down.
cars suck. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not saying the Choptop cars are less reliable. I think they're probably more reliable than anything in my fleet right now. But
I mean, the S55 it shares probably a lot of stuff with your actual daily driver.
yeah,
So it's going to be just as
Yeah.
reliable.
All right, so
Well,
you're hiring
no.
a mechanic.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'll be and I have AAA, so I would love to call AAA on
Oh,
to come pick up a car with no roof.
yeah.
yeah.
I got the
We'll
the
see.
big baller AAA. It's like 300-mile tows too.
Ooh, that's a money move.
If you drive
That's-
complete shit, if you drive shitty cars, you gotta have the 300-mile tow AAA. That's a fact.
Well, yeah. That's a weird flex. I've
It
got
is.
top tier AAA.
That is, yeah.
What have you got?
That's
You got nothing.
I can tow your car 300 miles.
I know someone who based their SCCA showroom stock club racing on their AAA. Drove the car to and from the racetrack, and if they broke or crashed, they would just call AAA to tow it home.
Yes. That's the idea for sure. It's kind of hard. They make it hard to call AAA and jump through the hoops, but
Yeah.
for a couple hundred mile tow is expensive, and so you're gonna want to jump through their hoops.
Yeah, and yearly dues are cheaper than a truck and trailer. So
Yeah, I think I pay $10 a month, $11 a month,
yeah.
and all I drive is crap. Actually, I'm coming to you from the roof of the crappiest car I own, Mercury XR4 Ti,
Hell yeah.
and it's a pile of shit.
Yeah, they all are.
But
It
so
looks
we're
pretty.
about to run out of our free Zoom time. So because that's how we have it here. But
Yeah, we have top tier AAA, but we haven't got top tier Zoom.
Sponsored by Zoom.
exactly. But we appreciate your time, and
Yes, mate.
I look forward to doing Gridlife at NCM and the next Choppy with you.
Yeah. Can't wait to hang out with you guys again.
All right,
Absolutely.
we'll do this
It's gonna
again.
happen. Man, we'll see you soon.
Later.
They holla thug life, out on the block slanging. We kept it real, moving dummy, rocks off in Delafield. Me